What is happening, everybody? Hello and welcome to this wonderful day, a day we should all be celebrating, a day that a giant video game franchise comes out with another installment. Whatever your feelings are about Blizzard, Diablo, all that fun stuff, whatever your feelings are, today is the kind of day that we should all come together and celebrate. A day where we all get access to hundreds and hundreds of hours of fun video game content without microtransactions that affect gameplay. Only cosmetics so far. A game that people have reviewed and said is really, really good, that people enjoy playing, that's fun. A game that gives people a hit of nostalgia and reminds them of some of the first experiences they had staying up until 6 a.m. and playing video games with their friends. And for me, that's what Diablo is for me. It was a game I first played at my cousin's house, who lived in a different city. I stayed with him for a few weeks. He had a computer that was better than mine, so we were able to run Diablo 2. And it changed my life. It was the most addicting, fun game ever. I wanted to stay. I was only supposed to stay with him for 1 week. I begged my mom to let me stay for 2 weeks. And if they would have let me move there until I beat the game, I would have done that. But they didn't let me do that. And I played the hell out of that game. And I came back home to my hometown, and I found my other friend who had a good computer. And I spent the night at his house, and I got him to download Diablo. And we stayed up until the birds were chirping in the morning. We stayed up playing this game over and over again, spending the night at their house, creating new characters, running Diablo 2 again and again and again. Until at some point we stopped. I don't remember why, but eventually we did. But after that, I was in junior high. And I went and I got kicked out of band because I'm a bad kid. I was the drummer, and there's only one drum set, 3 drummers, so you mess around a little bit sometimes, right? You don't, you go into the practice room and play on your Game Boy, and while you hit the drum with one hand, and then you catch Pikachu with the other. You know what I'm saying? I got kicked out of class. So then, what did I do in 8th grade after I got kicked out of class? Well, my 7th grade science teacher was this really cool teacher. Her name was Miss Adamian. She was an Armenian lady who was, her very first year of teaching was when I was in the 7th grade. And she was the most fun, hectic, craziest, coolest, fun class I ever had. Life science or something. And, it's one of those things where it's like the teacher is like, it's her first year and we're all having a little bit too much fun. And you know that it ain't going to be like this for her in a couple of years. She's going to have to ring us all in. But for this year, we had a good time. And I didn't have her anymore, but she had a next class. This was her 2nd year. And I got kicked out of band. So I asked her, hey, can I be your TA? And she said, yeah, sure, you can be my TA. I was like, okay, great. So I went into her classroom and I downloaded Diablo onto the computer. And sometimes Miss Damian would make me do work. Sometimes she wouldn't. And even if she made me do work or she wouldn't, I would still play Diablo. I downloaded the original because it was the only one that would work on that computer. And throughout that semester, I beat Diablo during 4th period, where I was a TA for a life science class with my favorite Armenian science teacher. She got kind of mad at me, but she was cool with it. And years later, I actually ran into her at a bar, and she told me that I needed to quit my job and go back to college. She was right, and I eventually did that. Really, really nice lady, actually. But anyways, we're talking about Diablo. And then Diablo 3 came out. And I was so excited, I mean, it's Diablo 3. The first 2 I had such a great time with, all these memories I loved. And then I downloaded it. Got it. Day 1. Got it. Bought it. I had a computer good enough at the time actually to do it, for the first time in my life. And I played through it. Played through it on my own, all by myself. Just played through it on my computer in my room. Just went all the way through the whole entire game. Beat the whole game. Got everything. Got to the very end of the game, and it was like, okay, well, now what do you do? And then I figured out what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to just kind of do like the same dungeons you already did, but everyone's just a little bit stronger, and then you get a little bit better of a loot. And then once you have a little bit better loot, you can make it so you can do the dungeon again where everyone's a little bit stronger. And then when they're a little bit stronger, they get a little. Yeah. I saw that real quick, and I was like, you know what? I beat Diablo 3, and I'm done with Diablo 3. And I didn't play the first season. I didn't play anything other past. Then I beat the game. I played it a little bit, and I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I didn't really see a reason to continue playing it. So Diablo 4 is out now, today. What will be my relationship with Diablo 4? Well, I can't imagine it's going to be too much different than Diablo 3. You know, I have already played it. I do know it's fun, but I also know that it's just kind of a grind fest at the end of it. You know, a lot of people, that's where the game starts. For me, I don't really play games that never end. I kind of like games to have stories. I like the games to have a beginning, middle, and end. I like to kind of judge that. I like to progress my character. Is just pure character progression at the end of it really enough to keep me playing afterwards? I would assume not. But this is a franchise that I love. It's fun. It's well made. I have good memories with it, and I'm hoping to have a few more of those memories made this weekend while I play through the game. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So join me. I'm going to be catching up on the lore, because even though I played all of those games, all the past games, I actually have absolutely no idea what the hell the story was. I mean, I know there's Tristan, there's Deckard Cain, there's Inarius, there's Tyrell or whatever. Like, there's like these angels, there's the demons, they're fighting, and Sanctuary. And so I'm going to kind of try to get caught up and judge what is the story. Is it good? Is it worth playing for the story? I think that might be the video that I'll be trying to make, and you know, let people know. And also I need to decide what class I'm going to play. I think, you know, so let's go back at it. The first Diablo I played like the Paladin. I'm pretty sure Paladin was in Diablo 1. Yeah, Paladin, Barbarian, Sorcerer. Was there only 3? I'm trying to remember what number 1 was. I forget. I think, was Amazon introduced in the second one? I think so. Anyways, yeah, and then in the second one, I was for sure a Paladin, and what was the ranged character? I was a Paladin, and I was somebody that shot arrows that went like this all over the screen and just killed everybody, and arrows that would like follow somebody. Maybe it was the Amazon, because like I remember there's like arrows that. Oh no. Here, I'm gonna look it up right now. Okay, what was? I had a couple different characters on Diablo 2 because I played it on like 2-3 different computers. I know you have Amazon on Diablo 2. Okay, Amazon, Necromancer, Barbarian, Sorceress, and Paladin. Okay, that's right. Yeah, so the Amazon was actually the one that you would have to do, I think, the ranged stuff with for the most part. Obviously, you could do ranged with Sorceress. I did make a Barbarian. I liked it. I never did Necromancer. But yeah, I was Paladin and Amazon on Diablo 2 for the most part. On Diablo 3, I can tell you that right now, it was Demon Hunter. Demon Hunter was cool as hell. It was broken on release, and I just like steamrolled through the game. It was so great. It was fun. Had a good time. And now I'm trying to think, what am I going to be here? You know, I've never played through a whole Diablo game with a sorcerer or sorceress, and I think that's what I'm going to do, but I want to look at some builds, look at what people say. I don't really care that much about the builds. At the end of the day, they're all going to be good enough to go through the game. But it's kind of between the rogue, I think, and the sorceress. Rogue is kind of the one I usually like playing the ranged characters in these games, but I think I'm going to do the magic character because I've never done a magic character. So anyways, without further ado, I'm going to get on with this story. Blackstar, what's happening? Welcome. I don't know.